Okay, so we are recording this. So once again, I'd like to introduce Rob Lawson, a senior field sales engineer with Sage. He's been working with Sage CRM and Sage 300 for a really long time. I know there's a few of you that may not be that familiar with Sage CRM. Rob's going to give you a brief intro before taking you through the new features in the 2017 version. And once I'm done, I'm going to hand this over to Rob, and I'm going to mute everybody with the exception of Rob. So if you want to hold your questions to the end or put them in the chat window, I'll monitor those, and then we'll come to those at the very end. So hold on for a second while I do this mute, unmute thing. So I've muted everybody now. Okay, Rob, you should have the ball.
Okay, so Jim, can you hear me okay there?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So welcome everybody. So as Jim mentioned, that's kind of our agenda. Oh, sorry, forgot to change the oil there. I knew there was a name somewhere else. So this is kind of our flow. We'll leave a little time at the end for questions. If you have a question, if you don't mind, just type it into the chat. And at the end, we'll go through and answer all those questions. Anything we can't get answered, we'll follow up with after the presentation. And as Jim mentioned, we are recording this. So just a couple of things. Sorry, I have a new headset and I hit the mute button way too much on it, so that's my fault. Every time I move my hand, I hit it. So let me move that mute button again. We are going to talk just a little bit about Sage, just that we're still around. Introducing CRM. For some of you may not be familiar with CRM, so quick introduction there. What some of the differences are, how can it help, and then talking about how benefits management and how it benefits the overall organization, how it can be extended, and then talking about getting into what's actually new with the actual release. So I know it's a bit of PowerPoints, but I do feel like even if you're an existing customer, a lot of existing customers, regardless of DNA's efforts and our efforts, you learn the basics and you do the basics, but a lot of people never take CRM to the next level and take advantage of the deeper, more robust features of the product. And so to me, this is much about what's new, but also what's there that you may not know is there. So a lot of that I hope we'll share today with you guys. So getting started, a little bit about Sage. So Sage is a market leader for integrated accounting, payroll, and payment systems, supporting the ambition of world's entrepreneurs. Now, CRM isn't listed here because CRM is considered a part of the core accounting product. We sell CRM, it's part of our accounting solutions, it's not something we do separately, it's something we do holistically as part of our complete solution with the CRM world and our accounting solutions from Sage 300, which we all know and love as ACPAC, Sage 100 in the US market. Over in the UK, we have a couple integrations there, and we have a couple other integrations that are in France. So lots of integrations, lots of functionality. CRM's definitely not anything to be worried about going anywhere. Even more proof of that is the actual name. If you didn't notice at the very beginning, I actually had it listing Sage CRM 2017 R1. So we're moving away from the 7.3 or 6.2 the dot nomenclature to the year convention that the rest of the products have, which for me is a really exciting thing. It sounds kind of silly, but anytime Sage does that, that's showing a physical commitment to the longevity of that product. So I was always worried that the products there's some other products out there that we have, Business Vision. It doesn't have that nomenclature, and that product has pretty much been designated to be supported, but not hugely invested in the future. CRM is being invested in, 300 is being invested in. So these are the things that I watch as an internal resource to see the future of the product. So I see a really long, happy future with this product, and I'm really excited about the things that are coming. So that's a little bit about us. We always mention our values. We think this is important. Stephen Kelly really encourages this. Customers first, wanting to know about your feedback, wanting to hear from you guys. We are reaching out to you guys more, trying to work with DNA and their team to make sure that you guys have the resources. They have what they need to make you guys happy, and we're providing enhancements in the product that makes everyone happy. We're trying to be at the velocity of now, meeting the needs that the customers are asking for and wanting in the product, doing the right thing, trying to make sure that we're all aligned in the right direction, trying to be innovative, coming up with new solutions, new ways to achieve results, and thinking outside the box of enhancing the product and what we can do to make it better. And, for example, even with Sage 300, if you're a 300 customer, what can we do to enhance that? What can we add in from a best-of-breed perspective? You know, over the years, we've had lots of integrations with HRMS and fixed assets and things like that, but what about Sage Enterprise Intelligence? Well, there's an integration there. Sage Intelligence is now part of the core product. These are all the things we're trying to do. Sage Credit Card Processing to make your jobs easier and make the solution a more complete solution. And we're ultimately trying to make a difference by our charitable organization, the Sage Foundation. I've actively been involved with that myself, where I've actually been a participant at as a volunteer for the Invictus Games in Florida last year, and I've already registered to be a volunteer for the Invictus Games in Toronto this year. So I look forward to the opportunity of being able to serve our men and women that have protected all of us. So it's a great opportunity. So from a Sage CRM perspective, we're going to talk a little bit about the ease of use, the adaptability. So this is that big picture piece about CRM. It's got a lot of moving parts. There's the core CRM. Everyone that hears CRM actually hears sales, and we're really moving away from the word sales or CRM. We're really trying to use the word sales, marketing, and customer service because it really does have those three modules. And I actually think there's a fourth module, and that's the extensibility of the product, which means I can basically take data from disparate databases and make it available in the CRM solution. So we are focused on trying to make the product easier, more insightful, more adaptable to your processes, more affordable. Keeping it competitive in the marketplace. These are some of our recent awards from this year, so that's some really nice awards that we got there. We're also focusing on how can CRM help your business grow. We're looking at not just what we've done in the past, but what we can do to improve what we've done in the past. So we're looking backwards to look forward. So we've added a better dashboard. This has been around for a few years now, but you have to take advantage of it. You have to go in and build those charts and build those gadgets and build those connections to the data the way you want to see it. Sometimes the connection isn't there. That's where the team at DNA come in and help build those connections so that you can build those graphs, those charts, those dashboards to see the data the way you really want to see it and better manage your organization. In addition to that, we've actually made the UI simpler. We've done some improvements. Over the last 3 versions, we've done multiple iterations of the UI Contemporary theme, so that's really exciting because I think it looks just so much better. I can't wait for you to see the latest version so you can just get a sense of that. We've also added dashboards that have all the information you need to know about the product, what's new, documentation, how to use features, videos, tutorials. So this welcome dashboard is there for an administrator, so admins know what they need to know, and regular users know what they need to know. So there's actually 2 versions of that dashboard. So we encourage you guys to dive into those dashboards a little bit and get to know them a little bit better. And if you're an administrator, share them with their staff so that they know those resources available. Then we're looking at how we can make the product better. From a manager's perspective. We've done a good job of giving salespeople information, but what we really need to do is have more real-time access and more benefit and more dedicated tools for the management staff so that you can see and manage the system. So we've actually added dashboards in the last couple of releases around more specific roles, and for example, specifically the role of managers for marketing, managers for sales, managers for customer service, and we put in some KPIs that we think you might be interested in seeing. Of course, this requires data around those activities, but if you have the data, then their dashboards would be readily available and just simply have to be assigned to the appropriate resources, or sorry, the appropriate users in the CRM system. We've also got the business accelerator tools, KPIs for managers. This is more of a sales one, looking at the sales activity, monthly sales trend, actual versus target, the pipeline, drilling into the pipeline. So these all are things that are available today. This is the 4th piece I was talking about, being able to say CRM is really adaptable. So many people use CRM for everything but CRM. They use it for account management. They use it for managing data that's not in the accounting system. They use it for managing projects. They use it for managing any kind of data related to a customer and or vendor or prospects or leads that they don't really need in the accounting system, but they don't really need a custom application. They just need additional tables. They need additional pieces of data about those records somewhere centralized. CRM is that tool. Instead of building disparate databases, I was talking to a client in Barbados, and they actually had the IT gentleman was sitting next to me. They actually had 13 SQL databases of data that he had to manage, and they're looking at adding another 10. And I asked him, just because there's a room of probably 20 people, I just leaned over, I said, how much of the data in those databases are the same? And he said about 80% of the data in every one of those databases is the same. So they got 13 times the workload of updating that data, because 80% of it's the same. It's that 20% that's the difference. And once he saw CRM, he's like, wow, that means that 80% load off of those 13 databases is gone, and all I have to do is have these custom pieces of information each one of these departments need about that record assigned to that record. And he immediately got it. He immediately saw the value in it. So that's where CRM is really just one of those really powerful tools that just give you that tremendous flexibility. It just gives you the adaptability to work for today and for tomorrow. Organizations change. Processes change. Your methodology of selling changes. Your methodology for account management changes. You grow, you expand, you need better tracking, you need better information. These are all realistic examples of how CRM can evolve with your organization. Just because you do it XYZ today doesn't mean tomorrow you can't change it to ABC. The system allows for that. And the key driver to that are our alerts, our notification, and our processes in the system. We actually ship with built-in sample workflow processes, and they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. We've actually adapted them to be a little bit more flexible and have more alternatives for you. But the key thing to remember about these processes are that you can actually build them yourself or work with DNA, and they can build that process out for you. And think about process is it's the steps you want your staff to follow when they're doing something. Qualifying an opportunity, qualifying a lead, following up on a customer service issue, periodically following up on an account based on a procedure you want them to follow on frequency of follow-up, alerting you by exception when something isn't done in a timely fashion, alerting the end user that they haven't done something, alerting you when they haven't done it after they've been notified, sending an email to a customer. All of these type of activities can be automated in the system with our process automation and our alerts engine that's built into Sage CRM. So in addition to your individual salespeople, it's also allowing you to collaborate as a team more effectively. So what this is getting you towards is driving productivity across the organization, across marketing, across customer service, across management. So everyone has one version of the truth. Within Sage, I deployed CRM originally for about 15 salespeople. We then deployed it from 15 to 50. At that point, the rest of the organization in North America heard about it, and it went from 50 to 400. So it went massively big. And at that point, we had to have dedicated people managing it, but I was originally up to the 50 managing it. My point is the tool is scalable from that 15, from the 5, from the 4, from the 3, all the way up to the 50, all the way up to the 400, all the way up to the 1,000. We have large clients using this product, and it supports that. We've also, again, the awards that I mentioned earlier, we've won several awards over the last year, which are really nice, just saying that we're in the competition. We're not being forgotten about. It is a valid solution that customers do love. Driving productivity through the use of tools and technology. We're adding in, and we've added in integrations, and we've had them for a while now around Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. There's third-party products out there that do even more with social media. So there's options around that. The LinkedIn integration, the Twitter integration, our Facebook integration are all solutions that have been around for multiple years now and are a part of the core product and something you can look at today. I call this social media 1.0 because it's kind of passive reading what's out there. If you want something more active where you're actually pulling data in, then There's a couple of companies that have done some social media. CRM Together has got some solutions. Graytrix has bought the products from Inbu Consulting, and they now have some social media pieces as well. So there's some advanced social media capabilities that can be taken advantage of. In addition, we've also, of course, CRM being web-based has always been web-based. We actually have an app, and a lot of people don't know we have an app. But if your CRM is exposed to the internet, then you can access it through that app. The integration for the accounting isn't in the app. It's purely the CRM piece of the data that's in the app, but it still gives you access to that information. You can send an email. That email gets filed into CRM. You can click on a phone number. It records that you made a phone conversation, not recording the phone call, but you called somebody. You can send a text. That text gets recorded into CRM. That native activity starting from the CRM app on your phone gets recorded directly into CRM. So there's some really cool features. And it's really just going into the iOS store, the iTunes store, and downloading the app, or it's going into, the Apple store, the App Store, or you can go into Google Play on your Android device and download the app there. We support both, and I have both on my machine, and I demo them quite regularly. From a collaboration perspective, for customers that want to have internal chat, they want to have the ability for people to ask questions and have that activity tracked and integrated into CRM, there's the Yammer add-on that's a part of the solution as well, which can be downloaded for free and installed into the product if you want to collaborate that way. We've had the MailChimp integration for a few versions now. A lot of people don't know that this is here. It's free. The integration is free. MailChimp is free for up to, was it 2,000 emails a month or 10,000 emails a month? It's not very much. It's a reasonable number for organizations that just want to send out emails and see who opened, who clicked, how many bounced back, soft versus hard, how many have unsubscribed, and then once you see who's clicked, you can actually click on that and create another group based on who clicked into that email and clicked on a specific link in that email. So you can actually start doing some really focused campaigning in your system. So that's pretty cool, and I like that, and a lot of customers I've seen it like the integration. So again, MailChimp, subscribe to it, try it for free. The integration's built in for free. It's a very basic setup. There's actually a video on the setup page that shows you the two things you need to get from MailChimp that you have to put in CRM. Once you put those two values in, it's basically set up. You just got to go start using it, and there's videos on how to use it as well. So it's pretty cool and pretty simple to set up. So Sage CRM, what's new specifically in the 2017 R1 release? Let's talk about new today. Okay, so this would be, I guess, if you're talking nomenclature 7.4, but it's Sage CRM 2017 R1, R1 being the first release this year. So at a very high level, the Sage CRM integrated solution to your 300 accounting solution offers extra features to improve your sales, marketing, and customer service teams. These are the highlight of the key areas that we've enhanced. We've enhanced the calendar, yes. Hopefully you didn't fall over. We've replaced the calendar. It looks amazingly different. We've updated the top bar. The navigation there, again, has been improved. We've added a quick finder from the cloud product that we used to sell. This is now a part and enhanced into the on-premise product. I'm not going to talk more about the secure email connection other than simply mentioning it here and one other time. I don't have a way of really showing it. Basically, it's just giving you the ability to connect securely to Exchange online or Google Gmail online. If you're subscribing to those services, they require secure connections, and we're supporting those secure connections now. So we have the ability to support those type of connections that Exchange Online and Google are requiring. So we do support that. In addition to that, there's 50+ support requests from customers such as yourselves that we've enhanced. All of that information is in about those updates for support requests are available in the release guide, which I'll tell you where that is at the end, so you can see more about that. So some summary, enhanced calendar. We've redesigned the calendar. We've made it easier to make it work with the calendar, more current technology, a little bit more flexible, a little bit easier to read, more information. Just replace the calendar, basically. Updated the top bar, quick access, the ability to have the quick search, favorite records now, active notifications, recently viewed records are all there. So it's just simpler, easier. That navigation of the notification bar that would open up, that's gone. It's now a pop-up over the screen so you can see that. And then the secure connection. Latest update allows you to securely access mail services such as Exchange Online or Gmail directly from Sage CRM product without the use of other software. So we're giving you the ability to have some access around that. And this is more server-side synchronization, right? Synchronize my appointments, my tasks, my contacts through CRM. You're still going to use something for mail, so don't infer that this is replacing Outlook. You still need a mail client. It's just allowing you that capability to have that service connected to for that server-side synchronization. Around the calendar specifically, you can now easily switch between day, week, work week views, detailed information around tasks, appointments. You can personalize your calendar view to suit your needs, improve team calendar, basically the same calendar for you as a user as the team calendar. We've also added an agenda view, so you can look at it more from an agenda perspective, similar to what you might see in Outlook. Improved navigation buttons. The buttons are simpler, easier. They're all at the top. Separate task views, so tasks are no longer like Outlook, where Outlook used to have the task on the right, calendar on the left. That's kind of gone. Outlook doesn't even really have that anymore. They've gone completely wacky with their stuff. So now we have that support as well. So we have that ability. The new Quick Finder has been added. Easier access to customers. You can search for customer addresses. We can search for issues. We can find information. We can enter key terms. It returns back the top 8 results. We can search across the entire application, including standard and custom entities. The notifications have been improved. So you see them in the process, including workflow and system alerts. Are now been simplified with a click of an icon. You can easily see that in the system. The latest update also includes the recent list. Easily expand and collapse your recent list. Records are more quickly accessible. The new really kind of cool feature is favorites. Seems kind of cheesy, but it's actually, I use it all the time because there's certain contacts or certain companies or certain opportunities I want to just get to quickly because I'm working on them all the time and I just want to put them in my favorite list. And when I'm doing a demo now, I use my favorites just to get to those records real quickly. And then on top of everything else, for full details about everything I've talked about here, it's actually already on the help site, including the release notes. So if you go to help.sagecrm.com, really hard to remember that, help.sagecrm.com, you'll see something like this. And you'll actually see where you go to help and PDFs, you'll choose 2017 R1, English, or your language of choice. I'm going to PDFs. There's also the help, but the PDFs are where the release notes are. This is also where the user guide is, installation upgrade guide, troubleshooting guide, support for different environments. The support matrix is here. All the most current information that we have available is right here and is immediately available for everyone to have access to as soon as we release the product. You can see it goes back several versions as well. There's integrations with, the 300 integration isn't there, but some of the other integrations, including the Sage Enterprise Intelligence integration. And then if you're just looking for videos, those are there as well. The other nice thing about the help side is if you notice that little C right here that I'm kind of circling around, that's for the community site. So you can actually go check out our information on our community site. It's one of the most active community sites. It has lots of really good information, videos, tutorials, tips, tricks, even development resources are there. So lots of really good information. So this is kind of a highlight of a full screen with the agenda view. So we're looking at an agenda view. So for the 25th, we got the subject, the person, the company, the action. At the top, you can see when I'm searching for Euro, it's showing me a list of this quick search. Right next to it is my notification showing up as option 2, and then the third little circle at the top right is showing me my favorites, my favorite companies, for example. So you can see this agenda view just gives you a very simple way of seeing everything in one place around my calendar of activities I need to follow up on by day. So I kind of like that view. It's a little bit different. By default, it's showing you everything, but you do have the ability to filter this as you need to in the system. So without further ado, let's actually go show you some product a little bit. So we're going to look at the enhanced calendar, the quick finder, and time permitting, I want to show you how it looks with the latest Sage CRM Sage CRM 2017 R1 and Sage 300 2017's integration. The integration is still the same because this is about CRM. Enhancements around the integration come out with the enhancements of the product of Sage 300. So on the roadmap is the update of the integration to replace the portal and the web deployment screens with the new 300C screens. So that's being worked on actively and being evaluated what's going to happen when procedurally. So that's really exciting news. Nothing official about timing. Just I know I'm involved in the meetings, so I know it's actively going on, so I can personally speak to that. I've actually been involved with the original proof of concept to show that it's feasible that this could actually be done. So a lot of work is going on to make that happen, and I hope in a fairly short-term fashion. So let's come out of the PowerPoint, and let's go take a look at the product a little bit here. All right. So I'm just going to log back in to my demo server. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to full screen. Okay, so I've got my full screen up. I've gone into CRM, and you'll see the actual new logo here that I was talking about. This is where I was mentioning the Sage CRM is actually sales, marketing, and service. So see, Sage CRM, sales, marketing, and service. So trying to move away from the concept of just being a CRM package. It's so much more. Down at the bottom right, you see it's actually Sage CRM's 2017 R1, so just kind of telling you what I'm in. I'm going to log in with the user called admin and hit I don't have a password, so I'm just going to log in. You'll notice I'm landing on my my sales dashboard in the system, so this is just the existing pre-built dashboards. So I've got customer service dashboards, I've got a marketing dashboard, I've got the CEO manager dashboard. So these are all pre-built dashboards that are already in the system. If I don't have any data, it's not going to show any data. And these are all a part of the core product that you can start taking advantage of today in the system. So if I was to click on that that record, and I would see the details of that record right here on the right. So I have that case and the details of that case right there. So you can easily see and have access to a lot of different information. Now this is going to show you a feature that I've added in. This is a customization. It's simply pointing to the SEI mobile UI that allows me to actually log in to the SEI mobile client through CRM, so I can have access to the dashboards and rights in the system. And I've got some general tips, so you can even build your own tips here if you want on how to use the system. So that's just an example of an article or tips I've written into how to use this screen. Again, just showing you the flexibility of the system and how you can embed different pieces of data. That's just back to that customization concept and enhancements of the product that are available. Now you notice I'm on my calendar, I'm on my dashboard. My calendar is right next to it. My map, contacts, leads, app on call list, opportunities, my forecast, cases, solutions, shared documents. You notice how all that's highlighting, right? So that's a big change. If I go to preferences, I can tell I'm on preferences. It just makes it so much easier in the system. Okay. You'll note I'm just going to point out the calendar start time. I'm using the AM PM, so it goes from 8 to 5. I'm starting my week on Monday, and the reason I'm pointing these things out is because when I go to the calendar, I want to show you where that comes into play. And you notice my default view for the calendar is week. If I hit change, if I want to use one of the other views, then I have the ability to change that to, for example, agenda if I want to do that, or if I want to look at it from my work week perspective, I'll do that. So I'll just click change, save, and I've changed that setting in the system. So now, if I go to the big thing, my calendar, my CRM, at the top, you notice the navigation is kind of different. The toolbar on the menu on the left is all gone. It's all at the top now. So if I go to my CRM and I go to my calendar, here's my calendar in the system. It's going to week view, right? Work week specifically. So remember I said I started on Monday, my week. That's my work week. So my work week starts on Monday, not on Sunday. Okay? So if it does start on Sunday for you, then you change it to start on Sunday. That's fine. But we're setting a 5-day work week, and we're showing you 5 days here in the system. Here is today. Today is gray. The time is between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. and I can see that, and I see I've got a webinar scheduled here on my calendar. If I want to go to today, click on Day View. It goes to today by default. If I go forward, I can navigate forward. If I want to go back to today, I simply hit today. Takes me back to my day calendar. Click on the little calendar icon, and I can go between the month, the week, the period, the year. I can click into this and go through to years. So you see I can drill all the way back to years. I'm in 2017. I want to go to December, and I want to look at the 26th. Quick and easy. Go back, or I can just say, take me back to today, and there's today. Again, there's my day view, my work week. There's my 5-day work week, my full week, and because I have the week starting on Monday, Saturday and Sunday are at the end, right? Now, for us in North America, we typically, if you look at a calendar, and I'm looking at mine right now as I say that, my calendar shows Sunday as the first day of the week. So you have to pay attention to your habits of how you're used to looking at a calendar. I did this so my work week showed Monday to Friday, okay? In this case, when I go to week, it puts Saturday and Sunday at the end because my work week starts on Monday versus Sunday. So if you want it to look like a calendar that you're used to looking at hanging on the wall, then you want to start your week on Sunday. So Sunday's at the beginning, then it has Saturday at the end. Again, just simply pointing out little subtle differences. It's just something to be aware of. If I want to go to the agenda view, then I go to the agenda view, and it shows me my agenda for the activities and meetings I've got scheduled here in the system. So there's my agenda for the 26th, the 27th, and 31st. I don't have anything else scheduled here at this point, so all I have is a task I need to do, which I added as a quick task into the system. And I can do that by going to task. When I go to task, there's my quick task, so I can add a task. I can see all overdue tasks like what we're used to seeing in the system. You can see how it refreshes. I can then click on the drop-down and choose any action or any custom action I've added. So my phone calls, my SMS or text out, my all activities. So by default it's showing all, but you can simply choose to say I want to see all of my to-dos. If I choose to do, it filters and shows me the 3 to-dos there. Notice I didn't have to click on filter, it just did it automatically for me. So if I go back to all, everything shows back up, and it just automatically filters that for me. If I go here and choose all, it's going to update and show me everything again. And if I want to show overdue task, again, as we did before, simply click on show overdue task, and everything shows back up in the system. If I want to go to a meeting specifically, choose to show meetings, and my meetings would show up there. Okay, so now if I go back to my day, there's my day, right? So there's my meeting for today. If I go back to work week, I can see my work week. Say I want to schedule something. I simply double click on the time, and it's going to open up a little quick appointment screen and allow me to just say meeting with Randy about prospect. Okay, and it's going to be from 4 to 4:30. I click on save. So it adds that quick appointment, right? Quick and dirty. Click into the appointment on the little 2 people there, and I would actually get into the regular screen of where all the details are. So if I want to invite Randy, or in this case, because I don't have Randy set up here, I'll just do Susan, and I'll add Susan, and we're going to meet in the London meeting room. So that's going to be a resource. That puts it over here. I can put in my agenda, and I'm going to meet on Simon Yaltoy. That's who we're going to talk about. We'll choose Simon, and then we'll pick which opportunity this is going to be related to that we want to talk about. I want to have this remind me 0 minutes before, send us a reminder message, and save. So I've now created an appointment in the system that I need to follow up on. If I click into that appointment, you note there's a star, so I can save that, hit save. Now I've got my starred task, and that takes us up to the top right corner. So in the top right corner we have our search, we have our notification, we have our favorites. So if I go into favorites, there's that meeting with Randy and prospect about prospect, right? So there's that information. Sorry, had to sneeze there. So there's my communication. See the little icon, so communication symbol. There's my meeting. If I click on it, it takes me right to that meeting real quickly. Whole point of favorites. If I want to go to a specific company like Ronald Black, go to Ron. There's Ron's information. You can see there's my little star that I starred to be able to get to them. And then I have opportunities I'm working on. So it just gives you a real quick, easy way of navigating through the system. Now, if we go back to the search here, I'm going to go back to my CRM and dashboard. I just want to get back to the start. And if I type in Simon, it automatically finds the top 8 records around Simon. So in this case, it's communications. So if I do typing's extra, Simon Yao Toy, now it shows me my Simon record because Simon was just a piece of it. So now Simon Yao Toy, the record, shows up, and I'm able to go to Simon. So I'm able to easily quickly find that information by simply clicking here and typing what I'm looking for. If you want to use the regular finder, you simply click the down arrow, and there's your regular finder options in the system. So search for company, person, case, opportunity, lead. What did this search for? It searched across all of these entities, kind of like a keyword search. Okay, so same concept as a keyword search. It's just searching across all entities, including any custom ones you might have added to the system. They would be searchable here as well. So that's pretty cool. Just gives me lots of easy access. I'm going to go back to my favorites, and I'm going to go ahead and go into Ronald Black here. That's going to take me to Ron's the company information. Right next to the favorite is my recent, so recent cases, company, lead. You can see how I can close these up if I want to. So I can find the information I'm looking for a little bit quicker. And the reason I'm doing this is a couple of things. I want to focus on companies and quotes and orders. Why? Because I'm a salesperson, and those are the things I'm typically looking for the most. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That gives me a lot more flexibility, especially when I've just done a quote and I want to see that quote. What's funny is this is so far down in the recent list. It's been there for a couple of versions, but most people don't know it's there because you have to scroll so far. So now by simply closing up those screens, I can find that quote and go to that quote that I generated from the quotes and order screen inside of Sage CRM. This is the quote screen from 300. Inside the opportunity for Ronald Black specifically. So I can actually see that quote and have access to that quote in the system. If I want to see any orders on this opportunity, I can go to orders. Obviously there aren't any because I haven't converted that quote. Oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. So I clicked on the wrong thing. How do I get back? Back button in the browser, right? So that gives me back, and I'm able to see that information again in the system. So if I go back to summary, it takes me back to the summary record. The company in the system versus the quotes or orders I was on. In this case, I'm on the opportunity, the summary information. So I can go back to quotes if I need to, go to orders if I need to. I can create a new quote from the company record if I want to, simply by clicking on new quote or a new order. I can also check inventory from here as well. If I check the inventory, this is going to give me the ability to go in and create a new quote or new order from here straight away. So I don't have to create the opportunity and then do the quote or order. I can actually just do it from this screen based on this item. If I want this one item, when I click on new quote, it'll actually put that item in there. So it puts the item in there, creates the opportunity, puts you on the quote screen. All you have to do is literally just put the quantity and hit save. They want 10 of those items. Great, done. Quick and easy. If I go back to Ronald Black and I actually want to create a quote, then I can just go new quote, and it puts me into a new opportunity and allows me to go through that process. If I want to update an existing opportunity, I go to opportunity, I go into the opportunity we're working on, 230, and from here I can go to the quotes tab and add a new quote. So quick and easy, very simple for me to be able to do that in the system. The last thing on the far right are my individual preferences, which we were in before. The administration area is here. Right next to that was that recent we did. Right next to that is my favorite that we did. Right next to that is notifications. So you see the notifications pop down, slide down, kind of open up on top of where we're working. So that's just a little bit of a change. They used to come up at the top, so now you just see a number telling you got multiple notifications. You click into it. You can then go to that actual notification and see the detail supporting that actual activity in the system. And then if I want to go back, I can go back with my recent or my back button and go back to that record that I was on previously after clicking on that notification. So those are a lot of the improvements around the system, a lot to do with the navigation. The key thing to remember to get this new functionality is when you go into preferences here, if you're on an existing version, an older version of this is going to be available for you, and it's going to be under the Contemporary theme. So I believe with the latest version, the Contemporary theme is the only theme available, but if you're on an older version, you would be able to change the theme, oh, there it is, and use the Contemporary theme if you're on an older theme with the last couple of releases. So right now I've got the Sage theme or the Contemporary theme. The Contemporary one is the one I'm working in. The Sage one is the older one that's a little bit more green. So just depends on which one you like. I like the Contemporary one. I think it's the most browser friendly, and it's obviously the most supported version of what we're working with today. Okay, so I think that's everything I was going to speak to. So let me come back to the presentation here. Talked about all of those. We mentioned the integration. Okay, so now we're just going to open it up for questions. So if you have any questions that you've typed into the chat window, we'll open up for that now. Jim, are there any questions?
I do not see any questions.
Okay, so if you want to ask a question, just click on your little microphone on the little meeting, or type it into the chat window, and we'll be glad to answer any questions. Jim, you see anything there?
Second.
Okay.
I don't see any questions.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, right. Jim, I just saw your text to me, Jim.
Yeah.
So you guys actually use MailChimp yourself. So
we do. That's how we send out a lot of our email blasts. We do it through MailChimp. This event was sent out with Eventbrite, but a lot of our email blasts we use MailChimp.
Great.
Well, takes care of that.
Good. Great. There you go. Proof's in the pudding. All right. So, all right. One last question and one last chance before anyone have any questions.
Looking like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks everybody for attending. Joel or Jim will be sending out the recording. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to Joel. You can email him at that address, phone number there, or I'm sure anyone at the DNA team would be glad to help. You guys do have another Lunch and Learn coming up, reporting on your critical HR data for compliance, the 31st of this month at 2 p.m. And you can check out the da.ca/events website for more details. So one last chance to see if there's any questions from anybody.
I'll run down the list again, make sure I haven't missed anything. So far, so good. Rob, thank you very much. That was very, very informative. A lot of information, but very, very informative. Much appreciated.
Glad to help. Yep, absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Glad to help. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.